Hi class, welcome back. So we are discussing the American Revolution today. So last time we actually talked about how Great Britain and why Great Britain came over to the Americas. Do y'all remember we talked about how they thought it was a secret passageway? They didn't know there was land there. And when they found out there was land, they thought there was a bunch of gold. You get glory for going and then to pass on Christianity, so God. So 3Gs, remember that. So today we're going to talk about how America got its independence from Great Britain and the causes of it. All right, so first we're going to start off with our I can statement. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So first bullet is, I can explain some of the conflict between American colonies and Great Britain. Second one, I can explain and understand the American Revolution and its causes. Third one, I can understand and explain the French and Indian War and the Boston Tea Party and all the other underlying vocabulary. So you guys actually all have papers in front of you. They're called skeleton notes. So all you have to do is fill it in. It's going to be word for word on this PowerPoint. You fill in your notes. That's it. Really easy. Okay, so I think this is on your notes too. What was the relationship between Great Britain and America? Do y'all think it was a good relationship? Bad? Okay, yeah, it was good at first, and it just went downhill. So first, Great Britain founded the 13 American colonies, so they practically owned it. However, Great Britain was across the world from America, so it was hard to manage everything. So new materials and goods founded in the Americas were giving a lot of money to Great Britain. So all the crops, all the new animals, all the new minerals and materials, all of that was going back to Great Britain. It was not staying in the Americas. All right, so this is a question I want you to think about for yourself for about 30 seconds, and then you can talk with your table. All right, 30 seconds to yourself, talk to your table after. Okay, so how would you feel personally if someone across the world, you can't see them, just decided to manage everything you bought, everything you sold, everything you did, how you believed in religion, all of that? How would that make you feel? All right, I want you to think about it with yourself, and then talk with your table. Okay, so a lot of you guys are saying that it would make you feel bad. Someone said constricted. That would not be cool. Me personally would not want, another person across the world going, you can't buy this. So I would feel awful. That would not make me feel good. And that's how the American colonists felt. So first we're going to focus on the French and Indian War. So the American colonists were actually fighting against the French and the Indians, who were allies. That's uncool. You're fighting by yourself. So Great Britain's like, okay, we're going to send troops over. Okay, that helped a lot. However, Great Britain decided that all of America's going to pay for it. They're paying for that war, and they have to house and feed all of the Great Britain soldiers. So even if you didn't know them, they were allowed to walk in your house and eat your food and, live there. So a lot of people were not happy about that. Another thing that Great Britain did was there was taxes and even more taxes that they did. So what is a tax? Does anyone know? Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much the amount of money that people have to give to the government for certain things. So if you put a tax on food, you have to pay a few extra cents for that food, or for clothing, or all of that. So there was 3 main acts or taxes that Great Britain did on America. First, there was the Sugar Act. Okay, so the Sugar Act had a tax on sugar, molasses, baking items like that. So it was hard to buy those and bring them into the Americas anyways, and then having it cost more was kind of a pain and not cool, right? The next one we actually already talked about is the Quartering Act. That forced the American colonists to house and feed any of the British soldiers. Okay, I don't want a random person that I don't know, living in my house, eating all my food that I could barely afford. And then the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was a tax on all, of course, stamps, newspapers, printed objects, anything you read. In today's world, there's not many, letters being sent or newspapers, but it's pretty much how the internet is. Imagine someone put a tax on using the internet, on using your phone, texting, because that was emails back then, or writing letters. That's not cool. That's what you use all the time, right? I would be mad too. So that made America really mad. So what did America do? America protests. So many American colonists found that taxing and the total Great Britain control to be overbearing, and they just wanted it to end, right? So during a protest in Boston, a small fight happened between some of the British soldiers and the American colonists. Several colonists were actually shot and killed. This was known as the Boston Massacre. That's in your notes. All right, make sure you write that. However, this actually was a smaller fight. It wasn't this giant 50 million people died. I'm pretty sure it was like 4. And people in Boston made it this huge deal because they wanted, to get the British soldiers out of there. So they're like, they are mean, they killed our people, blah, blah, blah. So they were getting really angry about that. Another thing that happened in Boston was the Boston Tea Party. This is also in your notes, make sure you get this down. So Great Britain decided to tax any imports of tea. What's imports again? Imports is incoming to the land. So it's coming to Boston. So they taxed the tea coming to them. So in protest, some of the Boston colonists boarded the ships at night, went in the Boston harbor, and dumped all the tea into the water. They were like, we're not going to be paying for this if you keep taxing it. Okay, so this is what the Boston Tea Party actually looks like. According to some paintings, you can see the American colonists up near the boats and throwing the tea in. Okay, so how would you feel if, you sent all this goods to someone and they just threw it in the ocean? Okay, I would be mad too. Great Britain was not happy. They were mad. They were very, very angry. The Boston Tea Party enraged Great Britain. So they wanted to punish the colonists. So they created a thing called the Intolerable Acts. That's what the American colonists called them because they were they couldn't handle it. It was unintolerable. That's where it gets the name from. So it consisted of shutting down the Boston harbor. You couldn't get imports or exports. How are they going to get food? How are they going to get, all their goods or family or friends coming back from Great Britain? So this punished everyone in Britain, not just the people who dumped stuff in the tea. So other parts of the 13 colonies became afraid. They're like, what if we do something and we get our harbors shut down? So they ended up feeling really bad for Boston. They actually came over and sent them supplies and brought them money and tools and everything. And this actually created a bond between the 13 colonies against Britain. Britain was thinking this would be a punishment and they would learn and be like, okay, we need to respect Great Britain. However, this ended up being the opposite. The colonies bonded and started hating Great Britain. So this was, the next one is the First Continental Congress. So 12 people from the 13 states, or 13 colonies at the moment, came together and wrote a letter to King George. And they're asking him, can you please take away the Intolerable Acts? We don't need it. They didn't get a response. That made them very, very angry. So in order to do this is another vocab word, they boycotted. Does anyone know what boycott is? It's the act of refusing to buy, sell, or have anything to do with a certain object or a place or anything like that. So they boycotted all British goods. They weren't going to use them. They weren't going to sell them. They were going to do whatever they could to not have any British goods in order to make Britain lose money. So this is a picture of people at the First Continental Congress. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. All right. And now, let the battle begin. The tension between the two sides grew stronger and stronger and stronger, and people just wanted to fight, and it was really, really intense. Finally, on April 19th, 1775, the two sides started fighting at Lexington and Concord. So this is where the Revolutionary War began, was Lexington and Concord. And there was a thing known as the shot heard around the world, where we're not sure which side shot first, whether it's Great Britain or the American colonists. Someone shot on either side, and that started the entire war. So that's called the shot heard around the world. That's also in your notes. So that is all for today. Here you can see some of the fighting. But that is all for today, because next time we're going to get more into the battles and the wars and everything and how we ended up winning the war. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much and have a great day.